This program has been rated PG-21. Parental guidance is advised.
Welcome back to Family Time on Look Up TV. Of course, we have a newborn baby called Look Up Radio 254, our online radio station. We are so excited because of this topic we are touching about.
Yes.
So before we went for break,
Yes.
there was this family that the wife was saying that their mother-in-law has decided to let the brothers-in-law and the sisters-in-law to stay in their family. And this happened because the mother-in-law, the husband died long time ago, before the children were grown up.
Yes.
So the firstborn is the one who has been like a father to their siblings.
Yes.
Yeah. So they reached a point that the firstborn son has now married. And the mother-in-law has decided to let the sons and the daughters to go and live together with the firstborn.
Yes.
And now the woman was saying, like, I can't do this because every child has their own character.
Yes.
Some of them, they don't want to be sent.
Yes.
They feel that this is our father.
Yes.
We are in our father's house.
Okay.
Huh? And this is their elder brother. And now the woman is not badly off. She can really take care of
Yes.
the other siblings. And even the siblings are not very young that needs to be mothered
Yes.
so much. They are grown up. So how can we handle the families that the mothers-in-laws have just decided to let their children
Yes.
go to their brother-in-law, to stay there?
I want to say that that's a very common problem, and especially within Kenya and Africa, where you find that when the firstborn son, and especially if he's well-to-do,
Yes.
in other words, he's able, financially looks stable,
Yes.
the mother has a way of transferring all her responsibility to the firstborn. But I think it's also a mistake, because for me, I would advise, if you are the firstborn, and you are able to take care of your sibling, help them at home. Don't bring them in your house. Because now, when you bring them in your house, they have a mentality they are still at home. You see that? And remember, your wife is not their mother. You get that? You are the only man whom they are seeing as the father. So most of the times you will find they can only take orders from you, the man. They will never take any instruction.
From your
they
wife.
can never be told anything by your wife. So the person who suffers most in that home is actually your wife, who is your partner, and what she gives you and what you do with her. All your brothers and siblings combined together cannot do what your wife does to you. So I think it's just a matter of priority. Let your family be a priority. You can help your relatives, but help them from afar. And if they must come to where you are living, get a house within. Let them rent. You get the point? Let them rent.
Okay.
You will realize the money that you use for renting and supplying them with food will be lesser than bringing them in your house, spending all the money because they have no pain of anything. After all, it's their brother who is providing. But remember, probably your wife could be working. There's a way she keeps on, chipping in with something.
Yes.
So you can't just, make your wife suffer and in the expense of your brother and your sisters. And soon they are going to leave your house, go and get married, and they will not invite you in their home. So in other words, you are destroying your marriage in expense of your brothers and your sisters who are neighbors. So we've got to be very clear, and let this one be very clear, that yes, I would want to help you, but when you are at home, I would want to help you, but we must get a room that is affordable. Let them have so that you can have the peace and the joy that you deserve especially if you are the first few years of marriage, 5 years, 7 years, you are still laying the foundation of your family. When you are laying the foundation, you don't need people, because your wife will keep on pretending she's okay, and she's not okay with your sister. She's not okay with your brother. And that's why now the man must be able to talk to his siblings, to his brothers and sisters. Don't send your wife to correct something from them, because they'll actually, attack her. Yes. They will actually think she's trying to intrude their lives, and they're in their brother's house, and that will keep on bringing a lot of commotion and conflict that will never come to an end. So for me, the man needs to be wise and take charge as the head of the family and protect your wife from your sisters and your brothers by helping them far. Or helping them, getting a room for them.
They should not actually
They should never stay at home.
Yeah.
Especially if you are, unless really it's a very big house, you get, and you have no children, you are now old, then you can give them a servant quarter to stay there for some time, not forever, before they organize themselves and leave. Because that has brought a lot of family suffering. And the people who suffer are actually women. And at the end of the day, what happens? You cannot just forfeit the joy of your marriage because of your brothers and sisters. Siblings, I think that's something that we need to balance. Kindly let men bring balance. Let women also bring balance, because I know there are also women who bring their relatives to stay in their house, and by so doing they begin to know all the weaknesses of your husband. They go talking about him in the rural area. Even if you see Pastor Monene, he has this and this weakness. He doesn't shower in the evening. He doesn't eat, and probably he only takes a meal once per day. But now there is a lot of rumors about Pastor Monene just because we invited relatives. So that people have made enough mistakes about bringing relatives in the house. Let us stop that mistake again. That's an error.
Probably I can add a little on what Pastor Sue has just said.
Yes.
That one of the things that is very important for every woman when she has gotten married, she wants to be real. And it is very difficult for any woman to be real, especially when there is another party, especially when the relatives are around. What am I talking about? You find that when people get married, they are in the process of getting to know one another.
Yes.
Because they have never been
together before.
Yes.
And so when you bring a second party, a third party, a fourth party, these people will forever remain strangers.
Yes.
Okay.
No matter who they are. They will never be real. They will never be themselves.
Everybody will be acting in this house.
Exactly. That will be a house of actors.
You can hear that.
Wow.
Okay.
Our viewers, you can hear that.
Yes. Wow.
It
will be a house full of actors.
It will be a home of actors.
Pretenders.
Drama.
Drama.
Because your wife could be unhappy with something that was done.
But because she wants to please.
But because she wants to please them.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to look like she's offended, she will keep it. So what will happen? She will be keeping a little bit today. Tomorrow,
a little bit.
The whole month she has been, just keeping. Then one day,
she will vent out.
Itafika mahali. Aseme enough is enough. And you wonder, I thought my wife, she's very patient.
What happened?
Yes. I thought my wife, she's very loving. What has happened?
That is the truth. Oh my goodness.
So I would strongly advise men and women, if you want to help, just like my wife has said it, I'm not saying that we don't help. No. I know there are cases whereby you must come on board.
Yes.
I'm married. I'm aware about that.
Yes.
I'm saying you can help, but know the limits,
Wow.
know the boundaries.
Wow.
Everybody requires their space. And when you deny them that space, it will come back unto you. Good measure,
Yes.
pressed down,
Yes.
shaken together.
Yes. The woman is able to bring
Running
that.
over.
And running over.
You get it?
Yes.
So negotiate with her. Get to know, are you okay with this? What is your thought about this?
Yes. Wow.
You must consult.
Oh yes, consult. A family, it's not about me. It's both of us.
It's about us.
You know, don't take her that she's just there to be told, to be commanded, to be given orders.
To be directed.
Now, that is not a wife.
Yes.
Anybody that you are commanding, giving orders, you know,
That's a house girl.
that is not a
Or a
wife.
slave.
You know, you are wife.
Yes, your wife.
Hata kama wewe umesoma,
Yes.
na yeye hajasoma, and you chose on her, then she has, you know, she has something in the decision that you are making.
Wonderful.
So consult her with her form 4 certificate. Hata kama umefanya degree 3, na yeye alifika form 4, listen to that wisdom, listen to that understanding she has.
Yes.
And don't put her off. Because that's another
Because you already
challenge.
chose her to be
Yes.
your wife.
Exactly.
With that Form 4 certificate that she has.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You know, basically men are quickly put off by their wives because they can be able to tell where you are going, but you want to explain something so simple in a paragraph. And that's why men are quickly put off. Because when you begin talking, the first statement, I can be able to tell where you are going.
Oh.
Now, listening now to a paragraph will call for patience.
Oh, they'll switch off. Amazing, Pastor.
I don't know whether sometimes you have found that you are talking to your wife, you know, or she's talking to you, then you pick your phone and you begin,
Yes.
you know, it puts,
And it is annoying.
Yes,
Very.
and that is not good. I have to say that is not good at all.
Yes.
Even when you can tell where she is going, give her that attention. Give her that, okay, you know.
Even if you are thinking about other things, but you just be intentional.
You
the
know?
way you always say, be intentional.
Yes, exactly.
That's just be
Amen.
intentional to be.
Exactly.
Wow.
Even if you are hearing nothing.
Wacha aongee. Maana dawa ya mama ni kuongea.
Wow.
Very, very important.
Wow.
Women are not sick.
Yeah.
They're not
You know,
sick.
exactly. Our wives are not sick.
Yes.
That is true.
All what they need, give them some time. Listen to that woman.
Give them an
Wow.
ear to listen.
So no matter how busy you are,
Yes.
give them your time.
Wonderful.
Okay, there is also another scenario where you find out
Yes.
that a girl has been married.
Yes.
And this girl, every now and again, she goes back to her home, to her people, to her mother. The husband is complaining, but she keeps on going back to their place.
Yes.
What can you say about this? Because maybe she has a bond and she has not accepted yet that she's separated
Yes.
with her family,
Yes.
with her father. You know, we always say
Yes.
that
Yes.
a girl and her father,
Yes.
they are really friends.
Yes.
And this girl has not accepted yet that now I have to separate and cleave to my husband. I have to be there with this man.
Wow.
I have to be in my house now. I am a married wife. I have to take care of my own responsibilities as a
Yes.
wife in the house.
Yes.
But now you see in this scenario, this girl keeps on.
Going back.
And especially when their home is near. She keeps on going. And you know the husband, because they're newly married, he will always say, it's okay. But this guy is hurting.
Wow.
What can you tell that kind of girl? How can you,
Wow,
how can you help?
That's a very common problem. I think that's very true. I want to talk to those girls who have an issue of keeping on going home every now and then, even without the consent of your husband. Because you need to understand, number one, you are not a girl.
And there is no serious issue that we're going to go.
You are not a girl. You are now somebody's wife. And you are not also supposed to leave home without the consent of your husband. Because if that is going to continue, then you are no longer building your home. As the Bible says, a wise woman builds her home. It's like you are dividing your attention to go home. And you see, there's a mentality you also putting to your husband that should there be any problem in this marriage, I can easily go home. And so this man will not feel to actually give himself fully to you because you look like you have another agenda. You're not fully committed to me. So the repercussion will actually happen to her. And you find such marriages, they don't grow. You don't grow in progress. You don't go in development. You don't grow. You are just stagnated. Because before your husband plans something, you have left. So there is no time you can stick together and plan together. And I want to say this. The parents of this girl should also take the initiative and tell her, no, you can't keep coming this home. Every weekend you are here. When do you have time with your husband? When will you bond? When will you do other things that men and women do when they are married? You see that? So also, we the parents must also be very strict when we see our daughters coming back or our sons coming back. Because we also have sons who keep going back to their moms. They are missing their mom, which is not wrong to miss someone. But make sure, before I keep telling people who are married, when you are going home, for example, if we are going at pastor's home, let him carry me. Because there are things he will not do as long as I'm there. Because something tells him you are now a husband. So carrying me makes him remember he's a husband. But when he leaves me at home and goes to his mother, he will return to what they were doing before I came. That is wisdom. Yes. Even me, when I'm going home, if it's possible, let me carry pastor. There's a language I can't speak. When we are with my mother, when we are with my sisters, you get when my dad is there, as long as pastor is there. So it's like you are checking and balancing each other. You get the point? Once in a while you may go, but let it not be a routine that anytime I'm going home to visit my mother, I only go alone. Because there's a chance of us discussing things that are not important. How is the pastor? You know, the other time I came there, I saw like he has an attitude. What was wrong? Did you see that? And maybe there was nothing. But because he has created that, I want to show her that there was, yes, even me, I noted. You see now? And if pastor was there, that discussion would not have continued. So let us know the reason why we are a husband and a wife is actually to also protect each other from our own relatives. Because not all our relatives have good wish that we remain as a husband and a wife. And we need to know that. So this lady who keeps going back, there's a problem. And also, this is very important, and I will say this, and it is very, very important. We were taught this by our bishop. It is important for every married couple to have a mentor.
And you always say that.
Ebu nikuulize. You get the point?
Yes.
Pastor Munene akianza kunisumbua, nitampeleka wapi? Alikuwa mzuri. Tulianza marriage vizuri, lakini amefika mahali, ameingia akona marafiki ambao wanampotoza, na mimi nasikia hapana, hii marriage ni kama itaharibika. Kama sina mtu naweza pigia simu, nimwambie excuse me, mimi vile naona bwanangu akiendelea, ni kama hii marriage haitasimama. It means this marriage, even if it was meant to stay, it is going to die. Why? I have nobody I can talk to about pastor openly.
Yes.
And someone who is not going to be biased. So every couple, no matter how loving you are right now, no matter how good things seems to be, no matter how connected you are to one another, ensure that you have people you are accountable to, and not only one person. Minimum 3 people. People I can call even at 3 a.m. Someone you can even call during the day and say, this is what is happening. Please talk to my wife. Please talk to my husband. Let me tell you, the greatest pain we have experienced with pastor when we are pastoring people is when a couple comes and they have an issue and we are asking them, do you have somebody who can guide you, walk with you? Ati hapana. How can you live in a world where nobody can rebuke you, nobody can correct you, nobody can guide you?
And that is the life that we are living.
And that is the life we are living.
Because everybody wants to be independent. They don't want anything of theirs to be
nikianza kutatisha pastor, nianza kumutatiza na tabia zangu, ni wapi atanipeleka? So unakuta ya kwamba pastor ako stuck. Juu mke wake hakuna mtu anapatia, hakuna mtu anapea heshima. Nobody I respect, nobody can talk to me. Nobody can, yani I'm just myself. Pastor ameshindwa na kunicorrect, and then we don't have anybody we are accountable to. I'm telling you the truth. That's one of the signs to tell you that marriage is destined for destruction.
What was your take on that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Pastor Sue, thank you for such
Thank
great
you, my
wisdom.
dear.
I'm amazed.
Yes.
I will say 2 or 3 things
Yes.
that I think to this girl
Yes.
who keeps on
Going back home. Yes.
and she's now married.
Yes.
That number 1, you are sending the wrong signal to your parents.
Wow.
Okay.
You are sending the wrong signal to your parents. That where I went, I'm not comfortable. Or is not well.
All is not well.
Exactly.
That is why you keep on going
That's
and
why you
coming
keep
back.
on
You are missing
going.
something.
Yes. You've not settled. That's why you, after 2 weeks, you've come. Therefore, you are putting the wrong thoughts also to your parents.
Yes.
And just like my wife was saying, they begin now to question, is your husband okay? Are you moving on quite well? But if you were rare, you're not going now and then, they will not be asking such kind of questions. So by you are going now and then, you are already creating a room for discussion, which may not be very good for you and your husband.
Wow.
Number 2 or number 3,
Yeah.
this girl who is going home now and then.
Regularly.
Yes.
Yes.
I want you ask yourself a very simple question.
Yes.
Why did you get married? And the reason is Twa Twa Twa.
So where is this man Twa Twa? Oh my God.
So
That is the reason why.
exactly. So if you're going home after every 2 weeks, you know, and then you go and sleep over,
Yes.
and your husband has been left with a house girl,
Yes.
you are already creating a
Wow.
room
Look at that.
for the enemy
Ma, look
to
at
come
that.
in.
My goodness.
Probably that man,
Kai.
that day,
Even if the man is born again.
oh yes, that man came prepared that day to take you to the third heaven,
And you are nowhere to be found.
and you are nowhere to be
Found.
Found.
Where ulienda ukaacha house girl, and the man was ready to manifest, lakini we ulienda, hata labda uliandika SMS, nimeenda kuona dadi, you never even discussed it.
Whether you're coming back or not.
Exactly. So you are failing in your
Wow.
first responsibility,
Eh.
which is Twa Twa.
Wow. Powerful.
So once you get married, make up your mind.
Yes.
You've gotten married, and you stick to where you've gotten married.
Yes.
If you have to go to see your parents, like my wife has said, go both of you, or let it not be frequent, once in a while,
okay.
when it is very necessary.
At that note, Pastor Sue and Pastor
Yes.
Munene, is it okay to discuss your spouse with your siblings? Is it okay to discuss your spouse, their weakness? Everybody there have weaknesses, whether be a wife
good question.
or a husband. Is it okay to discuss your spouse with your siblings?
Wow, what a good question. I think it's an error. And it's unfortunate that this is happening even now as we are speaking. But I want to say that the people who begin with this kind of habit are actually women. Because Pastor has said something. When the husband doesn't give the wife attention to actually vent out what is in her, she must look for somewhere she can go and speak those words out for her to feel relieved. And it is believed that women have more words than men.
Yes.
They say that in a day a woman speaks over 25,000 words.
Yes.
So if a husband comes at home and looks like he is not interested
to hear what
to
the
hear
wife-
how
yeah.
the wife has been the whole day. Probably is there any challenge she has? She could be even be feeling unwell. She could be having issues that she has, maybe phone calls from her relatives. And so the husband needs to make sure you keep abreast of all the informations of your wife. Probably that day she's on her menses, so she's feeling down. Maybe she's bleeding so much. She just needs that comfort. When a woman lacks that concern from the husband, she must get a way out, because nature does not allow vacuum. You get that?
Yes,
So now
yes.
you find most of the women, as Pastor has said, since they have been bottling up
yes.
issues,
Yes.
you get, it reaches a point she feels just something, a trigger from the husband, she begins to share. Huyu baba yenu hata mkimuona ni malaya, hata hana akili. It is true she's speaking the truth, but
in
to
a
the wrong audience. Because what you are doing by doing that, you are creating a negative mentality to the children about their father. And to the children, their father is their hero. So you find this mistake is actually done by women. Rarely will you find
A man.
a man, and let's even put him a husband. Rarely will you find a husband,
That's true.
having sat down his children to discuss about the wife. In fact, most of those obscene, dirty, painful words, we only heard, most children only hear the father telling the mother. You get that?
Yeah.
Children get that when they hear the father telling the mother. But rarely will you find a man seated with his children
Speaking
about the mother. That one, even if he's a drunkard, even if he's such a bad man, no man does that. It is not in the nature of a man to discuss about the wife, but it is in the nature of a woman to even sit down children of 5 years, 7 years, to discuss about the father, the way he came naked, urinating on himself, he had poo-pooed.
Yes.
You get that? Not knowing by so saying, it is true you have gotten relieved, but you have done something permanently.
You've damaged
that
the children.
The children image about their father. And what will happen? They develop something we call default setting. Default setting is a mistake that was spoken by the mother about the father, and that destroyed the mindset, the impression, the programming of a child towards the mother or the father. So what are we saying? It is not right to discuss about your husband. And that's why are you speaking? Because you don't have accountability. You don't have a mentor. If you had a mentor, those are the things now you share without the children hearing. You get that? And I'm not talking about sharing it with your friends. I'm talking of a mentor.
Exactly.
Someone whom you can just
Who will keep your secrets
and give you godly counsel, not worldly counsel. Who is going to give you godly counsel and tell you, no, you should do 1, 2, 3. Another thing we should also not do, we should never discuss our parents in the presence of our children. You start discussing the weakness of your mother-in-law. You're discussing the father-in-law in the presence of the children. The children should know that they are Guka and they are Shosho. They are such wonderful people. So you should not say how you are. The Guka was a womanizer. Guka alikuwa anachapa mama Shosho. You know those things that your uncle was a drunkard and a womanizer. Those things you should not. And that's why you found even when we grew up, when you were growing up, you find children were being chased away when adults were speaking.
Yes,
because they didn't want to put a default setting in our minds, and we begin to see our relatives, we see our parents negatively. They wanted us to remain with the same mindset on how we know them. So for me, that is an error that every parent, and if you are there, you are a parent, stop even discussing about your friends. Like now, Emily, you are my friend.
Yes.
It is very wrong. Even if you have wronged me, even if you have conned me, even if you lied to me, it is wrong for me to speak that in the presence of my children. And we go the same church, we are friends, because what I'm doing to my children, I'm distorting their mindset about you. And probably the reason why I met you was that in the future of these children, you are their destiny helper.
Wow.
So you see now, Yes. Right now, you may not really help them.
Yes.
But according to God, the reason why I met you,
Yes.
in the program of my son and my daughter, God wanted to use you to help them somewhere. But now I have said something wrong that has distorted the way they see you as Emily. And so at the end of the day, our parents, our children grow thinking we are fake. We are not real to our friends. And this will affect them and affect even our
And
relationship
now
with
the
others.
children, even in the issue of mother and father-in-law, you find that the children has favorite mother-in-laws. The
see now.
gukas, the best gukas and
Exactly.
shoshos.
Exactly.
And vice versa. The father of my mother is good. The father of my father is bad. So they just create some negative mentality on that note. So what can you say?
I will have something to say about that. Just like my wife has said,
Yes.
I will echo the issue of having a mentor.
Yes.
And let's be clear, who is a mentor? It is not a business partner.
Wow.
It is not a village mate.
No.
You don't pay them salary.
No.
No.
A mentor is not a classmate.
Wow.
Yeah? A mentor is not someone you are with them in the same group, chama.
Wow.
You know? That's not a mentor.
Yes.
A mentor is not someone that when he tells you something, you answer back.
Wow.
That's not a mentor. Okay. A mentor is someone that you take in high regard.
Wonderful.
Someone you respect.
Someone you highly respect. Someone that you honor in public and in private.
And on that note, it should be someone that you respect in public.
Yes.
On that note, we've learned so much today.
Oh, yes.
And I know that people are just, when will it come back again? When will next week come back up again?
Yes.
So a mentor is a person that you respect.
Yes.
You have high regards.
Regard. Exactly.
In public and
in
also in
private.
private.
Yes.
Our dear viewers, I believe this is the place to be.
Yes.
This is the show to watch.
Yes.
Don't forget to sit on the same chair that you are in today, because I know next week we shall learn more and more. See you again, and God bless you.